Hello, my friends. Official welcome to your yoga practice. My name is B. Creel, and I will be leading you through your practice today. I'm getting nicely hit by a fresh beam of sun, which is always a good thing. I am usually based in the Outer Banks in North Carolina, but today you will find me at my parents' in Maryland, taking a little visit here. So I thought, why not film a class? Today's practice is yoga for emotional support. Now, I know what you're thinking. Maybe you're thinking this. How can yoga support me emotionally? Well, if you've ever practiced yoga or meditation or mindfulness in general, you know that our mind and our body are so connected that when our emotions run through our body, if we're able to process them, feel them, let them go, they don't get stuck. They don't get stuck and live in our shoulders, in our hips, in our head, in our heart. Instead, they can move through us the way that they are meant to. So today's practice is designed to give you space to feel whatever you're feeling today without judgment. And also, it might just feel great to move. And as I always say, it may not be a perfect day where you are, but it is always a perfect day to start taking care of yourself and moving your body. So if you'll join me, we're going to begin on our backs today. You can start by reclining all the way down. 2 feet on the floor to start, knees bent up. Arms can settle down by your sides. And I'm going to offer you a few options today. If you want to get into the hips immediately, I would say heel toe the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall open. You can then even rest the hands on the body if that feels a little bit more grounding since the hips are so open. You can also take constructive rest. So that's kind of the opposite. Feet would heel toe out as wide as the mat, and then your knees would knock in together. Again, arms can rest down by the body or settle onto the body. And allowing the eyes to close here, or gaze can be soft up toward the sky. I'm currently viewing the sunshine hitting the trees. Earlier I saw a little woodpecker in the tree. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. So if your environment is a little bit distracting like mine, maybe it's helpful to gently shut the eyes. And then can you give yourself a moment or two to drop into your body? Feel the back of your body start to ground against the mat. Feel the front side of your body begin to open. And then you'll start to notice the feeling of the breath moving through the body. Notice what it feels like when you're breathing in. Notice what it feels like to breathe out. And can you tune into that sense of steadiness within your own body right away? So that no matter what you're feeling right now, no matter what you're thinking, there is a place of steadiness, a point of steadiness that you can call upon right now and throughout practice. Whenever you notice your mind wandering off, or maybe the mind starts to overanalyze how you feel or soak in this desire of wanting to push your feelings away, no big deal. But see if in an effort to practice self-compassion, you can anchor yourself back on the breath when the mind starts to wander off. We'll take just a few more moments here. And then in your next few breaths, if you're in constructive rest, you can stay there. If your knees are open wide, soles of feet together, I'll have you slide your hands down to the outsides of the knees, close the knees in together like a book, and we'll meet with 2 feet on the ground. Feet are going to be about hips width distance from here, so you can adjust accordingly. You're going to lift the right knee toward the chest, interlace your hands on top of the knee, and then start to pull the right knee out toward the right shoulder, and then back into the chest. So it's kind of like this windshield wiper motion, side to side, and then from there you can find circles, just lubricating that hip joint. If you want to feel this a little bit more intensely, you can slide that left leg long and just continue with the circles. If your left leg is long, flex your left foot so that the back of the left leg can ground. If you're circling the knee, make sure you circle it the other way. Very good. And then from here, you'll lower your right foot to the ground. You'll bend up the left knee again if the left leg was long, and we do the same thing on the other side. So left knee will come in. You'll find that interlace above the knee. Pull the left knee down and out toward the left shoulder. Draw it back in toward the chest. Find that windshield wiper motion, and then maybe it circles. Side to side, right and left, up and down. And then if you did so on that first side, maybe you try on this side, extending the right leg long, flexing the right foot. If it feels like garbage on this side, then don't worry about it. Keep that right knee bent. If you're circling in one direction, make sure you circle the other way. And notice your breathing as you do this, so we haven't completely abandoned the breath. Good. From here, you'll lower the left foot to the ground, you'll bend up the right knee, and then both knees will come into the chest, hands to the kneecaps. Open your knees as wide as the shoulders, and then close them back in, just doing this a few times. And then if you're ready for it, once the knees come out as wide as the shoulders again, you can reach for the outer edges of the feet, pull the feet down and out toward the shoulders, happy baby pose. Again, if it's too early for your happy baby, then pull on the knees instead of the feet. Take a breath in. And a breath out. One more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Let's release the feet, step the feet to the ground, and then both knees can just drop over to one side. You'll use your hands for support, and then press up through hands and knees all the way into a tabletop shape. So we find all fours, hands beneath your shoulders, knees beneath your hips, a sense of steadiness right away. I'm always guilty of hyperextending my elbows, so keeping a little bend in your elbows. And then we'll take a breath in, pull the heart forward. As you exhale, round through the spine, press down into your hands, chin to chest. Again, just like that, breathing in, pull the heart forward. Exhale to round. One more like that, inhale. And exhale. And then as you come back to neutral, you'll begin to find some circles. You can start with some circles around your wrists, circles around the knees. Maybe you press all the way back to like a little child's pose, and then start to move through your head and neck. So what's interesting, if we want to talk about the energetics in yoga, specifically the yoga chakras, with this practice today, we would really be focusing on the second chakra, the sacral chakra, which is symbolized by the element of water. So when we think of our emotions, can we think fluidity? Can our emotions come into our body, come into our mind? Can we give ourselves the space to really feel them so that they pass fluidly through us and they don't get stuck in our hips, in our shoulders? Just a few more moments here. If you feel really awkward, you can close the eyes. And then you'll start to come back into stillness. You'll tuck the toes, lift your seat high, downward facing dog. And let's take some time here to pedal through the feet, to shake the head, yes and no, yes and no. Notice what it feels like to be in this shape. If it's very familiar, no big deal. But can we allow ourselves to be present here? Notice what it feels like to press down into your thumbs and index fingers, to bend your knees, shine your seat toward the sky. Can we get really present with how we feel right now? Not how we felt yesterday if that emotion still feels stuck. Not what we're thinking about, how we're going to feel tomorrow, but right now, how do we feel? With your next inhale, wave yourself forward, high plank, stack the shoulders over the wrists. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, downward facing dog. Again, inhale, forward, high plank. Exhale, down dog, and then we'll move a little smoother. Inhale, forward, exhale, back, and just at your own pace with the breath, finding a sense of fluidity. You can even really pump it up, moving anything that's stuck throughout your body. We're here for 3. Oh yeah, 2. And 1, downward facing dog. Right away, sweep your right leg high. Bend your right knee, open up the right hip. Let your right heel hang toward your seat. And then find some knee circles, just like we did on our back, but maybe these knee circles can be bigger, wider, more open. You can even straighten and bend the knee, shake out the leg. That might feel nice. Then square off the hips, flex your right foot, big breath in. Exhale, knee pulls in toward the chest. You'll step the right foot to your right thumb. So runner's lunge, right knee over right ankle. Already you're probably going to feel this in your left hip flexor, maybe even in the right. It's all good. You can stay up on your fingers. Maybe you have blocks underneath the hands. You're going to tap your left knee down. Untuck the left toes. As you inhale, sweep your arms forward and up. As you exhale, shoulders soften, hips drop. Big breath in, maybe your gaze lifts. As you exhale, hands to the ground. Now tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee, straighten through your right leg any amount. And then as you exhale, bring your right hand inside your right foot. You're gonna walk your hands over to the left, and I'm gonna turn to face you. You're finding a wide-legged forward fold. So the feet are parallel. All 10 toes are facing the left side of the mat. Go ahead and bend one knee at a time. Shift side to side, right and left. You can get your head and neck involved, why not? And then eventually, you'll bring your hands to your hips. With a flat back, you're gonna come all the way up, so pressing into the feet as you rise to stand. Let's circle the arms overhead, inhale. As you exhale, heels in, toes out, bend your knees, cactus the arms, goddess pose. Let's find a little rock, side to side. You can even bring your hands to your thighs, shimmy out through the shoulders. So even though we are focusing more on the hips today, we can also pay attention to the shoulders, why not? Emotions get stuck everywhere, right? And then you'll come back to your goddess pose, arms are cactus. Can you start to find stillness? Let your tailbone drop down. Come back to your breath. In this moment of intensity, can we slow the breath down? Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale. As you exhale, straighten the legs, arms settle down by your sides. You'll turn your toes in slightly, sweep the arms up as you breathe in. Turn your right toes to the top of your mat. Bend your right knee, warrior 2. So a little bit of a way to connect here with alignment. Your right heel is in line with the arch of your back foot. Your arms are open out into a T. And if you were to look down at your right knee, you would be able to see your right big toe beyond it. Now soften your gaze beyond your right fingers. Soften your shoulders. Big breath in. And an exhale out. Inhale, straighten your front leg any amount. Tip your right palm up and back, reverse triangle. Keep pressing down into the ball of your front foot. Big inhale. As you exhale, bend your front knee, cartwheel the hands down, low lunge. You'll press into your palms, step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, wave it forward, high plank. As you exhale, tap your knees to the ground, lower all the way to your belly. Cobra pose. Squeeze your legs together, point the toes back. Maybe you hover the hands off of the ground. Take a big breath in. And then exhale, slowly lower. From here, you'll press back, child's pose, seat to heels. Separate your knees nice and wide. Let your forehead rest. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, pull yourself forward onto hands and knees, tuck the toes. Lift your seat high, down dog. Take a moment to reset. Inhale. And exhale. Left leg sweeps up and back, down dog split. Go ahead, bend the left knee, open the left hip. Your left heel will hang toward your seat. You're pressing into both hands. And then maybe you find those circles with that top leg. Maybe this side feels completely different than that first side. It's all good. You can even give that left leg a nice big shake. Eventually, you'll square off the hips, really flex the left foot. Take a breath in. As you exhale, knee comes into the chest. You'll step the left foot to your left thumb. You can tent up onto your fingertips. Maybe you have blocks underneath the hands. Take a moment here. Breathe in. As you exhale, tap your right knee to the floor. Untuck your right toes. Inhale, press into your front foot. Sweep your arms forward and up. Soften your shoulders. Let your hips drop as you exhale. With your next inhale, maybe you look up at your fingers. Exhale, hands to the ground. Tuck your right toes under. Lift your right knee. Straighten through your left leg any amount. Take a moment here to pull the left hip back as the right hip drops forward. Nice little hamstring stretch. And then you'll bring your left hand inside the left foot. Walk your hands over to the right. We have our second wide-legged forward fold. So maybe the second time around, you're a little bit more familiar with what's going on. If you want to walk the hands in between the feet, you can. If you still want to find that movement side to side, maybe that's nice here, but give yourself the opportunity to feel for what you need. Without judgment, without needing it to be perfect or even balanced from the other side. Just let yourself be. Eventually, you're going to walk your hands back up underneath your shoulders. Then you'll place your hands on your hips with a flat back. Come all the way up. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over your head. As you exhale, goddess pose, heels in, toes out. Maybe you take another round of those shimmies right and left. Maybe immediately you want to drop into it. Up the intensity. Elbows wide, heart open, tailbone down. If you want to add a little bit more fire, why not? You can hover your heels off the ground. See if you can soften any amount through the face. Here for 3. Notice your breathing for 2. And 1. You'll drop the heels if they're lifted, straighten the legs, parallel the feet. Now turn your left toes to the front, bend your left knee, warrior 2. Take a moment to set this up so you feel supported and steady. Your gaze is soft beyond your left fingers. You'll feel the left knee bend and open to the left. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale and exhale. Reverse triangle, straighten your front leg. Flip your left palm, tip up and back, press into your left foot. As you exhale, bend the front knee, cartwheel the hands all the way down, low lunge. You'll press into your palms, step your left foot back, down dog. Right away, inhale, wave it forward. This time you can stay in high plank or maybe drop your pelvis, but keep the toes tucked. Legs are charging back, tuck-toed upward facing dog. Big breath in. Downward facing dog, exhale. As you inhale, sweep the right leg high. Bend the right knee, open the hip, exhale. From here, you'll straighten the right leg, square off the hips. Then right knee, right elbow, press into your hands, then step the right foot outside the right hand. So it's a much wider lunge than that first lunge we found. Both hands are inside the right foot. You're gonna tap your left knee down, untuck the left toes. Your left hand will come off to its own side. You'll peel the right arm open to the sky, take a little twist. Now you can even turn your right toes out to the side slightly and let that right knee fall open. If you're adding on, start to reach your right arm back behind you. Maybe bend up the left knee and grab hold of the foot. If you don't have much padding underneath your left knee, this probably doesn't feel great, so it's all good. Wherever you are, we breathe in, we breathe out. You'll slowly release the left foot, sweep the right arm forward and down inside the right foot. You can turn your right toes forward, tuck your left toes under, lift your left knee, and then step the left foot outside the left hand, so really wide forward fold. You'll turn both toes out, heels in, bend your knees, drop your seat for Malasana. So we think goddess pose, we turn the toes out, we dropped it low, now we're really low. So if this is too low, you can always slide a block or a blanket or something underneath your seat. You can use your elbows to open the knees. Now, if you look down and your heels are not on the ground, just take a wider stance, no big deal. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, press into your feet, rise up to stand, reach up. As you exhale, squat back down, hands will find the floor, straighten the legs, parallel the feet, turn the toes forward. Walk your hands up to your shins, lengthen the spine, inhale. As you exhale, hands to the ground, step both feet back, downward dog. Inhale, wave it forward and through, tuck-toed, upward facing dog. Exhale, seat high, down dog. Breathing in, left leg lifts. Bend the left knee, open the hip, exhale. Inhale, square off the hips, lengthen the leg. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. You'll press into your palms, then step left foot outside the left hand. From here, you'll lower the right knee, untuck the toes. Right hand will come off to its own side. You'll peel the left arm open toward the sky. You might stay here. You might turn the left toes out slightly. Let that left knee fall to the side. Maybe you reach the left arm back behind you, bend up the right knee, and reach for the pinky side edge of the foot. So that left shoulder is opening, the hips are opening, the head can start to fall back a bit. Big breath in, and a breath out. Slowly release the right foot if you have it. Bring both hands to the mat inside the left foot. Turn your left toes forward. Tuck your right toes under. Lift the right knee. You'll step the right foot outside the right hand. Wide forward fold. Right away we get into it. Toes out, heels in. Malasana. Hands to heart. So again, emotions tend to get stuck if we don't let ourselves feel them. So in an effort to give ourselves space to fire things up, to move through and past our emotions, we're going to go up and down just 3 times. 3 times. Setting yourself up with a big breath in and a breath out. Inhale, press into your feet, rise up. Exhale, lower down. We got 2 more. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down, hands to the floor, straighten the legs, parallel the feet, and fold. Halfway lift, wiggle your waist forward, inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat, step both feet back, downward facing dog. Inhale, wave it forward and through, tuck-toed, upward facing dog. Exhale, seat high, down dog. With your next breath in, you'll tap your knees to the ground. As you exhale, swing your legs out in front of you and come on down to your backs. As you arrive here, knees bent up, 2 feet on the ground. Let's cross the right ankle above the left knee, flex the right foot. Then thread your hands behind the left leg or above the left shin. Take a moment here, driving that right knee slightly forward. Take a breath out. Inhale, tailbone is heavy. Exhale, shoulders soften. You'll slowly release. Step the left foot down, then the right. Cross your left ankle above the right knee, flex the left foot. Thread your hands behind the right leg or above the right shin. You'll feel your left knee driving forward. Inhale. And exhale. Breathing in. And out. Breathing in. and out. From here, slowly release, step 2 feet to the ground. For Shavasana today, you can end with your legs long, your arms open, or you can take a familiar shape to what we found in the beginning. You get to decide. All that I ask is that you support yourself here. I encourage you to stay in Shavasana as long as you would like. Give yourself the space to be still, to rest, to feel what you feel without judgment. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Again, my name is Bea Creel. If you're interested in deepening your yoga and meditation practice, check out the Challenge membership where you can practice with me live weekly. And you also have tons of on-demand recordings to choose from. I hope to see you all very soon. Have an amazing day.